Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, hi, hello, welcome, thank you so much for stopping by. Today's video we're going to be ranking my last 10, technically 11 palettes, because one is not technically a palette, it's a bunch of singles in a palette, but they all came at the same time, put it together as if it was a palette. But regardless, that's what we're going to be doing today. I saw Butte Bean, my friend Laura, Annette's Makeup Corner, Samantha March, do these types of ranking videos, whether it was just palette ranking or ranking like stuff they've accumulated. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, and I'm going to keep the intro short and sweet. If you guys are interested in seeing where my last 10/11 palettes ranked, then just keep on watching. Alright, so in the number 11 spot is the Jeffree Star Mini palette. It is an all shimmer palette. You've got different finishes of these shimmers. You've got some more sheer type shimmers, you've got some metallic-y shimmers, you have a duochrome. I just wish that there was a matte shade, at least one matte shade in here, like a mid-tone matte. If they went with two, a light and a dark. I know that they had the bigger palette for this where it was all matte, so it's a good companion palette. But if I'm looking at this to rank it as a standalone palette, it is ranked at the bottom, even though I love his shimmer formula. They're really, really nice shadows. I just want a matte. It's pretty. It's a great neutral shimmer shade. If I need a specific neutral, I can just go in here and I have it. Even if it had one more matte in here, it would have been higher than the next palette. That's all I can say. All right, so those are the shimmers here. You can tell that this one's more of a lightweight shimmer where it's just kind of like a topper. I feel like that'd be a really good highlight shade. All right, so then we have the Dido Cosmetics Venus palette, and this one is only higher because it does have two mattes in here. It's got a very light cream shade, and then it's got like a mid-tone warm brown. I like the formula of these shimmers better. I like that this one has matte, so I can at least do a full look with it. The look's not gonna have the most depth from like dark to light and shimmer and all that, but I have the matte shades to work with. That's why this one is ranked just a little bit higher than the Jeffree palette. And then these shimmers are very different as well. You have a bunch of different textures and finishes of these shimmers. So, plus I love the packaging of it. If we were basing it off packaging, it would have been ranked higher, but we were ranking it off the shadows. So right here is the matte transition-y type shade, and then three of these shimmers, and you could just see how beautiful they are. I just wish there was more matte, and it's not my most favorite formula, so it is a little bit lower for that, but it's not a horrible formula. Again, none of the palettes I'm showing you guys are horrible formulas. It's just this one isn't my absolute favorite. I just love the aesthetic of it, but yeah. The next one, you're probably looking at me saying, well, why is it ranked higher when there's no mattes in there? But these shimmers are just very, very special. This is the Rare Beauty Confident Energy palette. Beautiful shimmer shades. These two specifically are everything. This is a beautiful inner corner highlight shade. I adore this palette so much. If I need a bright blue shimmer, I'm gonna go for this one. If I need a green shimmer, I'm gonna go for this one. If I want a white gold inner corner highlight, I'm gonna go for this one. I guess I should have ranked this 10 and this one 9 because this had a matte, but these shimmers are just too special to be any lower. It just can't be any higher because I don't have any mattes. These shimmers are just so creamy, so metallic, so just beautiful. They are gorgeous. I love them so much. All right, the next one is my palette that doesn't technically count as a palette, but it's gonna be my honorable mention just so I can have 10 plus this one in here, because otherwise I didn't know where else to throw this into. But this is my custom palette from Jeffree Star, not this October Halloween mystery box, but his mystery box before. This is a completely different shade, and this is the Jeffree Put It Back shade with Shane, but it's not counting in this. I just wanted to put it in here because it was a Jeffree shade and it fit, and then the black just fit in here nicely and stuff as well. So this is ranked number 8. It has one shimmer, so my preferred matte heavy with less shimmer, and it's got good depth. You've got a light shade, you've got, you know, your darker brown. This color is everything. I need this color in like this size pan and I will be happy because I could use that kind of shade all the time. That or like my grungy greens and mustard. Either way, I really enjoy Jeffree's formula, and I feel like these 6 colors together work really well, especially just getting it in a mystery box. I could have gotten 6 completely random shades that didn't work together. All right, so those are the colors here. You can definitely tell that the second purple here is a little bit brighter, but I mix it with this shade a lot to deepen it up, but I'll also mix it with this one to kind of tone it down. I really like the color story of this palette. The green was a fun pop of color to add in there, and then the black being a matte was just a very nice way to deepen up the look a little bit more than this shade. So That's why I added the black in with this one, and I added the green because it was a Jeffree single. Please ignore the outside of my apartment. I have no other time to film, and I just have to deal with it. And I don't like it, but I just have to deal with it. Alright, so number 7 goes to my Wet n Wild Saved by the Bell palette. I love this so much more than I thought I would. When I initially saw the launch online, I was like, I don't love the colors, but I wanted it because it was Saved by the Bell. Got it in person and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I think it is so well done. The matte black is lighter than the gray, but it's nice to deepen up a look without just being like bam black that doesn't blend out and it turns into raccoon eyes. So it's a very nice deepening up shade without being too dark. The glitter I'm very impressed with. This one, you pull it on your finger, you go to swatch it, everything comes off your finger. These 3 right here, these 2 shimmers, and this one I use so much. Like, those are my go-to 6 shades. When I grab this palette, I'm always using those 6 shades. But yeah, Wet n Wild for their price has really good shadows, and I love the aesthetic of it anyways. Even if this was ranked number 11, I would never declutter it because it's Saved by the Bell. Alright, so those are the shades there. You get the dark brown, look at that dark blue, and then you have like a orangey shade, and then like the purpley pink shimmer shade. It is so pretty. I mean, especially you saw the impact on that dark blue color. For a Wet n Wild palette, that is a very well done dark blue shade. Alright, so number 6 is the Colourpop Bare Necessities palette. Some of the shades are just too similar for my liking. With having this many shades in the palette, I would have wanted more variety so that I'm getting the most out of all these shades. Like, these 2 shades are really similar, these 2 are really similar. This row looks very cool toned in general compared to the rest of the palette, but I went to shade some body paints and used these 2 shades, and it was still a very warm shade. So I had to go in with something else to make it more cool tone. It's a very easy go-to neutral palette. Very good range of light to dark, but it's overall a really good eyeshadow formula. I love Colourpop shadows, especially for the price, and I got this for like $10 off Poshmark. Sanitized it and everything, but I just like the other color stories more. There's nothing wrong with the formula. I just wish a couple shades were substituted for something else. Alright, so there are those shades right there. I mean, just look how metallic those 2 shimmers are. I just, again, like the other color stories a little more. Alright, so the number 5 palette for me is the Jeffree Star Ranch. You know, people were disappointed because I saw the pink here. They see the pink in, you know, the actual palette. The guns, the star, it's pink, but you open it up and there's no pink. I am so happy about that. I don't like pink. You guys all know that. But it's neutral with those blue shades. It was more so, you know, 2014, 2015 me in a palette, but I still love doing a neutral with a pop of blue. I could do the neutrals all over the eyes with a blue shimmer. I could do neutral with the blue lower lash line. I could do neutrals with the blue inner corner. I can just grab this palette and go. I don't have to go for a neutral palette, then go grab a blue palette. I have everything I need for an easy go-to pop of color look right here. But look how pretty. Like, look at that bright matte blue. It is bam in your face, bright matte blue, and I am obsessed with it. Alright, so the number 4 goes to the Storybook Cosmetics Robin Hood palette, and this one is such a me color story. It is just so well done for a 6-pan palette. It is very well curated, and I love their packaging so much. Like I've been saying with these palettes, as well as the Jeffree one, love him or hate him as a person. His packaging is beautiful, his palettes are really good, his makeup in general is really good quality. But I want to have the Storybook Cosmetics palettes displayed because they're just beautiful. So those are the shades there. Just look how beautiful they are. Alright, so the palette in number 3 is the Jeffree Star Bloodlust palette. I love just purple because they make my hazel eyes pop. This palette is absolutely stunning. You got like the cream white shade, you've got a great depth of purple shades. It's so pretty. I love this palette so much. I just love Jeffree's formula so much. He has such good eyeshadows and I really like the color story. I think these 2 were like the first time he introduced this type of shade in a palette. I don't remember exactly what they were called. Alright, so here you have the pastel type shade. You've got that darker purpley shade, the darker of the 2 special shades, and then the black with the purple toned glitters in there. So beautiful. They blend like a dream. They're insanely pigmented, great quality. I I love that palette so much. So the number 2 palette is the Shroud Cosmetics Arcana palette. I got this as well as the palette in number 1, which I feel like you guys already know what it is, but I'm not going to say it right now even though I feel like you know. But that was my first time trying Shroud Cosmetics, and I initially wasn't even going to pick this one up, but then I was like, I want free shipping, and it's a really beautiful color story. So you know what, I'll pick it up too. Just bite the bullet, give it a go, and go from there. It's perfect for fall. You've got corresponding shades. The only ones that don't really correspond is going to be this shade as well as this shade. You got the blues, you got the greens, you got these 2 shades, then you have those 2 shades and those 2 shades. So like this one and the purple are just kind of on their own there, but I mean, it's still very, very beautiful. I just think it's such a good quality palette, but the mattes are just so pigmented, just so blendable. These shimmers are so creamy, and it doesn't matter if you just go in blindfolded and pick, you know, 2 mattes, 2 shimmers. They're all gonna look good together no matter how you do it, because I did one look where I used almost all these mattes and a couple of different shimmers. Obsessed with how it turned out, and I wasn't sure it was gonna work because I used so many shades from here, but it worked so well. Look how beautiful. It is gorgeous, and I'm just obsessed. It is fall in a palette, and I love it. It's so good, great quality, great color story, and I just love the whole vibe of the palette. All right, and then the number 1 palette goes to the It's Freaking Bats from Butte Bean, who's now Batty Bean, and Shroud. This is my Joker Beetlejuice Halloween perfect palette. Again, the mattes are beautiful. These shimmers are so impactful. It's just so beautiful. The shade 0 is everything. If they sold this as a single in this size of a palette, I would buy it because I need that shade in my life. I cannot live without 0. It is beautiful. You put it with the greens, it pulls more green. You pull it with the purples, it pulls more purple. This shade is magic. I cannot get over how beautiful this palette is. I know they say that they're going to keep restocking it as long as there is a demand for it. So if you guys still haven't gotten your hands on it, I highly, highly recommend it. I'm very much considering picking up another one just because, like I said, I cannot live without the shade 0. But all these shades in here are just perfection, chef's kiss. Could not have thought of a better Halloween themed palette. I love it. All right guys, so that was it for my ranking of my last 10/11 palettes with that honorable mention in there, with it being the custom palette with a bunch of singles. Let me know where you guys would have ranked those palettes. What would you guys have ranked as your number 1 out of all of these? That's mainly what I'm curious about, but I would also like to know which one you guys like the least out of all of these, just because makeup is so personal, and what my favorite palette is might be your least favorite palette, and vice versa. Maybe you love an all shimmer palette and maybe you hate, you know, Joker Beetlejuice type colors. And if you guys have palette ranking videos, definitely let me know down below so I can go check them out, because I just love hearing about palettes because they are my absolute favorite part of makeup. I love palettes so much. But yeah, I'm gonna quit rambling. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down below, and turn on the little bell notifications so you guys know every single time that I upload. And yeah, love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.